We need someone to move the microphone around. There's someone there. Someone raised his hand. Except you just wanted to show me your phone. Oh, you just wanted to show me his phone. Thank you. Is it iPhone 12? Okay. Will someone move motion for the adoption of the agenda? The man over there. What's your name, sir? That's the Bayelsa State Chapter Chairman, right?
Yes, sir.
Please mention your name.
Town Planner Julius Yorako, Chairman Bayelsa State Chapter. I move for the adoption of the...
Supported by, okay, the man is the chief in red cap.
Nelson. I, Town Planner Dr. Nelson Nsinwosu, so move to support the agenda.
From Abia State.
Abia State.
Thank you. So can we quickly look at the minutes of the AGM held in Abuja? Now let me say something else that is going to make this faster. As we go through these minutes, if the complaint you have is about how your name was spelled or that you were there, your name was not reflected, it's an administrative thing. Just write into a sheet of paper and give it to one of the ushers. They will send it to the National Secretary. Is that understood? Thank you. So our minute starts from page 4. Page 4. Page 5.
President, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to say this, but because there's no piece of paper to write. My name is conspicuously missing on the attendance list.
It's still administrative. So what we'll do is, Executive Secretary. Yes, Past President Kadiri, sir. See the person you will give mic now. You have not taken breakfast like myself.
I hope the president is not complaining.
No,
there's no past president on that list. None.
Okay.
Maybe somebody does not want us to be here. I don't know.
That's one way. The second way is that maybe there was an assumption that somebody will write their names on their behalf and the person did not write. Now, just like I was noting in the meeting of council meeting on Monday, that in our days, my days as National Secretary, I would have written the name by myself as National Secretary. So, please, whoever is doing that, now you will now have to remember those who were there in Abuja. The Chairman Ethics Committee, I believe, is the sheet of paper you are going for. You will have to be smarter than that, sir. Thank you, sir. Page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, all of these are about attendance. Page 10, let's go to page 11. One of the things that will help us in Abuja, you know, the AGM comes just once in a year. One of the things that will help us in Abuja is when you have received this document in your bag, study it over time, so that when we come here, you will have pointed out the things that you saw. So it's not now that we are reading, okay? But for now, I've seen Gava has W now. So page 11, line 423. Prayer by Town Planner David Gava. That's not a full. Yeah. Page 11. Page 12. Okay, page 12.
I'm Town Planner Balogun Muritala from Lagos State. Item 4.2.1. I observed that at the general meeting in Abuja, when the report was presented, there was a discussion on the report.
When
the report was presented, there are some contributions from the members of the floor, and it was not reflected in the minutes.
Which of the report?
The report by the National Legal Officer. It was adopted for discussion. So those discussions were not reflected in these minutes.
Unfortunately, it was a transition period. So to get that information now is tough. But we'll note it. We'll note it if there are things that, what is important, please sit down. What is important in any minute are the action points at the end of the day, so that we do not miss anything out. So we'll go back into our records and look at the drafts, the manuscripts, to see what was missing. Thank you. Page 13. Yes, past President.
Still on the same item, I thought if there could not be any summary of what the legal advisor gave us, it could have been added to the minutes as an appendix, so that we know what was the issue, not just telling us the legal advisor gave a report. It could have been summarized or verbatim as an appendix, so that those who are not there will know what it was all about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm sure that the National Secretary is aware, and every member of Council is aware. There's a new protocol of writing minutes in this administration, so that you can, minutes are better captured when you write them within a day or two of the meeting, and that's one of the things we have decided here. We cannot do the same thing to AGM, but the National Secretary knows that after writing that draft, he sends it to everyone that was present in that meeting, so that they could go through and give their comments and send back, and then a final copy is done. So what we will do is, like I said, we will go back and look, particularly if there are actions that we are supposed to have taken. Thank you very much, sir. Page 13. Page 14. Past President Kajiri again.
On the election 6.0, I think it would have been better if you knew what the election was, the result of the election, not just saying X became secretary. If two people vied for a position, we should know how many votes were cast for each of them. It's supposed to be a record of what happened, not just the result of what happened. I hope I'm making sense.
It does. It does make sense. Even if the secretary was not in a position to catch that, he will be in a position to liaise with the chairman of the electoral committee.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I believe that those points are taken for today's minutes, so that we don't repeat this in Abuja next year. Any other observations, omissions, additions? Yes. Sir, anybody who wants to make a comment, just be on your seat. Be on your seat. Don't get up and raise hand at the same time. All you need to do is raise your hand and not at half mast. Because if you do half mast, this is what and I may not see it. So just raise your hand and then we'll get the microphone to you. There's someone there. Quickly. And then looks as if there's another person at the back there.
I am town planner Amrede E. Samson from Delta State. My concern is about the omission of those that attended meetings, the annual AGM at Abuja. And I personally, I made a complaint of blunder concerning omission of my that particular year when the minutes of 2019 was read at Abuja, and they apologized.
Excuse me.
And today,
excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Were you here at the beginning of this meeting? Did you hear my announcement on administrative issues like omission of your name?
Yes. Why I said so, sir? What I'm saying is, I want to point it out because it is a recurring decimal.
Okay, that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just hand over the microphone. Just hand over the microphone so that we can take another issue. It's the same thing you want to say.
Yes, sir.
So, please hand over the microphone. What you want to say is that it's a recurring decimal that your name is not in the attendance list, right? Yes, so hand over the microphone. The fact that you say it does not put it now. What puts it is that we note it as an administrative point and then we try to make amends next year.
Okay.
I saw someone raise up hand over there. Is the person still raising the hand? Okay. Then I understand that sheets of papers are going around for corrigendum. That is, if you want to talk about your name being missing, attendance list is not out yet, is it? It's out. So note the difference between current attendance list and the complaint that your name was not in the previous minutes. Okay? So somebody down there raised his or her hand. It's solved. Thank you. Any other person? So in the absence of any further corrections, will someone move the motion for the adoption of these minutes as corrected? Who is moving the mic? Give the Baba in cap, in the resource control cap. He decided to remove it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I, Town Planner Professor Arthur Isaga, Chairman, Delta State Chapter.
Didn't hear your name, sir.
I, Town Planner Professor Arthur Isaga, Delta State Chapter, hereby move for the adoption of the minutes as amended.
And seconded by? There's a woman here. Just wait for the mic.
I, Town Planner Dr. Larabarico of Just Chapter, second the adoption of the minutes.
I don't know of a Just Chapter.
Plateau Chapter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's not that I'm trying to be fussy. When I'm saying some of these things, especially when I ask you to repeat your name, We're a professional organization. We need to know ourselves. So when you mention your name and where you are coming from, there may be somebody who may have been looking for you for some time and didn't know. So thank you, Delta State and Plateau State. The next item. Matters arising. National Secretary. I didn't even do opening address. Okay. Let me do my opening address now that everybody is here. You will have to pardon me with all this parachute. I just wanted the Nasarawa State Chapter people to see that what they gave me, I have put it on. Oh. Sir? Yes. Oh, give me the cap. That's why they can't remember that. Thank you. Distinguished members, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see 3.5 pages. I'm just going to pick so you can read the details later so that we can save time. First and second national vice presidents, past presidents of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, fellows of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, distinguished members of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, particularly our newborn members who were elected only 3 days ago, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with a sense of immense gratitude that I stand before you today as a representative of the National Executive Committee that you elected to serve our great institute just about a year ago. With the votes that brought us into the 2020-2021 year of administration, you reposed in us a confidence that we did not take for granted, and we still have not taken it for granted. On behalf of every member of the 2020-2021 National Executive Committee, which we tagged the Renaissance Team, I thank you for the privilege given us to serve you. This general meeting is an annual event where we seek to review the activities of the Institute over the last 12 months. It provides for us the avenue to assess the performance of those we elected to serve through their account of stewardship. I therefore welcome you all to the 2021 Annual General Meeting of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. Over the last 12 months, a lot has indeed happened to us as individuals. And as an institute, you will all recall how much courage it took to host the last national conference, an AGM in 2020. It took quite some risk for some of our members to get back to their stations, but we all returned home safely. However, we had our share of losses in the year, prominent amongst which was the demise of town planner Jacob Aderemi Makinde, fellow Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, past president Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, who died in April and was buried in June. And town planner Adeniyi Odetoye, fellow Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, now past president Association of Town Planning Consultants of Nigeria, who lost his life in a gory gas conflagration in June. We had across our chapters other members who passed on, all of whom were very dear to us as colleagues. It is appropriate to observe a moment of silence in their respect as we pray that God will repose their souls. Shall we rise up for a moment's silence? May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace. Please sit down. Perhaps I should also congratulate us all for the just concluded national conference, because this is really the AGM is usually marking the end. Hosted by the River State chapter. We want to thank the chapter, the local organizing committee, and the National Conference Planning Committee for all the efforts made to ensure the success of the conference. We appreciate the various committees, subcommittees, the innovation team, volunteers, and individuals who in no small measure contributed to add value to the event. I thank you all very much. Our focus. You want to clap for someone? Please clap. And I order that the financial secretary must not collect money for clapping. So you may clap freely now. As a matter of fact, when on this Sunday, I arrived on Saturday. When on Sunday, I went to the River State Chapter Secretariat, and I saw the load of work and the volunteer efforts that was put into sorting out bags, putting them in chapter by chapter allocations. I was moved. So once again, thank you, River State Chapter. Our focus. When we were elected, we had a few things in focus which we thought would drive the direction of the administration. This included those 7 points. The team hit the ground running immediately after the conference when it held a 2-day retreat the day after the election to set the path of movement of the wheel of the administration. 2 days later, the executive paid a courtesy visit to the Minister for Works and Housing. The team built around it a number of statutory and presidential committees with which it has been trying to fulfill its targets. Investiture and our dream projects. Taplana Sam, I don't know if you are able to show what I sent to you. The investiture of the national president and the inauguration of the NEC was held in Lagos on Thursday, 10th December 2020. At that well-attended and successful event, the national president unveiled plans for remodeling the present structure being used as the National Secretariat, as well as plans to add value the news was only to those who were at the investiture ceremony. But we want to thank the College of Fellows, members of the College of Fellows, who took a resolution at their meeting in August that every fellow should contribute 100,000 naira. And I wasn't able to attend the last meeting because I was at a radio program. So what I heard later, thank God I was not around, they would have said that it was the president that whispered into the chairman of the College of Fellows' ears. I hear that it's now mandatory, right? Secretary College of Fellows. So it's mandatory. But let me thank fellows who have made that contribution. Can you please give them a round of applause? The reason is, you know, some of them were still paying as we were registering for this conference. You know, when somebody registers 40,000, 45,000 for the conference, he keeps the money for hotel accommodation, he keeps the money for airfare, and then he sends in another 100,000 for the remodeling. I truly appreciate this on behalf of this executive. Thank you very much. So that's what we're looking at. We hope to change the narrative about town planners and their environment. Section 5, Advocacy for Planning. The National Secretary will, in the course of this meeting, report the activities of the executive in the past 1 year. However, it is important to inform the annual general meeting that to fulfill objectives 1 to 3 of our focus, I embarked on a nationwide tour, which has seen me cover 19 states of the Federation over a 5-month period. It is expected that the remaining states will be covered between now and April 2022. I say April 2022 because after that, nobody will be listening to anything different from elections. You know, and let me announce that in the month of November, the Edo, Delta, FCT, and Kaduna chapters have indicated their willingness to receive the national president for the courtesy call. So by the end of November, we will have done 23 states. So there will be 14 left, which we hope to cover between January and April 2022. I want to thank the state chapters for their support because it has been a shared burden. So much of that burden has not been on the institute itself. I want to thank you all for your warm receptions. There is no state that did not give a warm reception. And I also note that there is no state that we have spoken on the radio and people have not accepted that truly their knowledge about town planning is limited and that we need to do more of this advocacy. Membership. The administration has been able to screen 3 batches of candidates for membership to the institute. This is probably the first time we are having as many batches in a year. Many of the elected members have been inducted in the just concluded national conference. We look forward to having these new members become pillars of our noble profession in some years from now. The institute has grown in number from 5,588 members in October 2020 to over 5,800 in October 2021. I'll give you the exact figure in my valedictory address. Other activities, we had MCPDP, the exam board. We've resolved some of the bottlenecks that the exam board had. And I must say that the Nitp and TopRec are enjoying a very good relationship right now. We have tried to go E in our administration. And years ago, when people like Town Planner Bumi Ajayi was national president, the executive secretary will carry the checkbook from Lagos then. You carry it to wherever the national secretary was to sign. When he finishes, he will take it again to the national treasurer to sign. That's when the money will now come out. And some of these things even happened until last year. But we have successfully migrated to the E. So when I'm in Lagos, I sign memos for approvals for payment. And once that is done, the accountant initiates the payment on electronic platform. He sends it and the national treasurer signs her portion electronically. The national secretary signs electronically, and you can actually get everything done within a few hours of the day. We have done that successfully. And I want to thank those who worked towards that. Committee meetings. Many of the statutory meetings were also able many of the statutory committees were also able to meet several times. We've taken advantage of technology. In this administration, I think Council met about 7 times. About 7 times. 2 of which were only physical. The rest were virtual. Same thing with NEC. Same thing with management. International relationship. The Nitp has continued to participate in Commonwealth Association of Planners meetings. The association will be celebrating its 50th anniversary in November. This will be available virtually, and we will keep members informed. Already, one of us is on the panel to review submissions on young planners competition at the CAP level. We will be linking our women group with the coordinator of the women group in CAP, especially now that our women now have a national coordinator. Expectations. We are aware that our work is not yet done. Indeed, the journey is still far ahead. And we do understand that we can always do better. We are better than this. That we must always remember. And our mindset must change from that which is limiting to that which opens up to a world of limitless possibilities. The Institute recognizes such units or subgroups in our profession, like our Association of Town Planning Consultants of Nigeria, Young Planners Forum, Urban and Regional Planning Students Association of Nigeria, and Association of Women Town Planners in Nigeria, which is growing very strong. We believe that the next few months will see these units waxing stronger within the framework of the aims and objectives of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. It is important to state also that the faculties which had been approved to take off will begin to function in the coming administrative year, particularly the transport faculty. We hope to be able to build on our competencies as we focus on these faculties. Finally, appreciation and conclusion. As a team, we would like to thank members of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners for the confidence posed in us. If we served you well, it's only you who can judge. For the errors we committed, we do apologize and hope that we can have the opportunity to make amends in the future. If we are considered to have added value to the progress of the Institute, we dedicate that commendation to the members of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. On behalf of this team, I would like to say that it has been a privilege to serve members of our great institute. Thank you all, and may God bless you. Pardon my parachute. We will now, let's take reports from the national officers. We'll come back to decisions. Reports from national officers in the order in which it has been placed there. The National Secretary, followed by the National Financial Secretary, the National Auditor, and then we'll take the decisions to AGM under the memos. Thank you. No.
The National President?
No.
Of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. The top rep president. Past national presidents of NITP. distinguished members of management, members of National Executive Committee, please permit me to adopt the already established protocol. It is a rare privilege standing before you as the National Secretary of our great institute in this year's annual general meeting. The exiting year has indeed been an eventful one, regardless of the debilitating effects of COVID-19 that has blighted substantial part of that period. The existential threat, however, was matched with the managerial dexterity of the national president, Town Planner Toyin Ayinde, FNITP, through his incisive leadership and the vigor and diligence with which members of Management Committee, National Executive Committee, National Council have acquitted themselves diligently in discharging their responsibilities to the Institute during the year under review. Recall that on the 22nd day of October 2020 at Shida Hotels and Conference Center, Abuja, our 24th National President, Town Planner Olutoyin Ayinde, FNITP, was elected along with executive members to oversee the affairs of the Institute from 2020 to 2021. Members of that executive are as listed below. Distinguished colleagues, may I present to you some of the major activities that have so far characterized the operations of the Institute. Training and retreat. The Secretariat for the first time organized retreats for both members of the executive, chapter chairmen, along with their secretaries and public relations secretaries, between 24th and 25th October 2020 and February the 2nd, 2021, respectively. Both programs were designed to expose NEC members to the functions and demands of their offices in line with the NITP Constitution and vision of the current administration to better serve and meet all the expectations of our enthusiastic members. In the same vein, the retreat for chapter chairmen and their counterparts has also continued to embellish the Institute's image, brand, and content. Investiture of the National President and members of NEC 2020-21, the investiture of the 24th National President and the 2021 National Executive Committee members successfully held on Friday, the 11th December 2020 at the Podium Event Center in Lagos. It was a glamorous event that was well attended by men and women from all walks of life, especially professionals from the built environment. That event actually marked the full launch of this administration. Secretariat and Staff Matters. The National Secretariat has maintained consistent improvement in running the affairs of the Institute. All the departments are functioning optimally in line with the mandates of the various departments. This is the outcome of training and retraining programs introduced by Management Committee in conjunction with our external auditors, Jumai, Idoko, and co-chartered accountants. This has brought the Secretariat staff, especially those in the accounting department, up to speed with contemporary accounting principles that have also improved the department's efficiency and service delivery. The Secretariat has also completed arrangements to employ an additional driver to augment the lone driver currently manning the 2 fleets of cars in the Secretariat. Remodeling of Bawabuare House Secretariat. In addition to the efforts of realizing Bawabuare House, this administration has initiated a process of remodeling and transforming the current Secretariat to a more befitting office complex. This has become a shared vision of this administration and has enjoyed the buy-ins of majority of members in realizing the project. Members of NEC, National Council, State Chapters, College of Fellows are all in the forefront of making financial commitments toward this project. Distinguished members are also encouraged to key into this signature project. Posterity will definitely judge members of right. Activation of internet banking. The Institute has upgraded the Institute's payment format from analog to internet banking. This has reduced delay and clumsiness in conducting the Institute's financial transactions. It has also improved security and safety of our sensitive financial documents, which before now were ferried to different locations of our board of the signatories for endorsement before financial transactions were consummated. These are also extended to virtually all payments associated with the Institute, like annual dues, conference fees, and so on. Statutory meetings. During this period, the executive held meetings as required by the Constitution of the Institute as follows. A, we had 8 management meetings, which some were physical and some were virtual. National Executive Committee meeting were 7 in number. National Council meeting were 8 in number, also physical and virtual. Dispute resolution. The Institute has been swift at responding to complaints and disputes coming from various state chapters and members. This administration has continued to assert neutrality in handling any disagreement or complaint from those quarters. During the period, petitions were received from both Ekiti State and Oyo State chapters respectively over issues of chapter elections. Investigative and reconciliation committees were set up to resolve the issues promptly. Today, peace has returned to both state chapters. Relationship with professional bodies, APBN. Distinguished members, our beloved institute has improved from being a celebrated debtor to a major frontliner amongst committee of members of APBN. This administration has been able to clear its arrears of debt to the tune of 3,095,000. The Institute is now actively involved and visible in all programs and activities of APBN. Nitp has continued to identify with and solidify its interrelationship with other professional bodies in the built environment, CAP. Nitp is participating in the activities of CAP's commemoration of its 50-year existence. CAP intends to give awards to outstanding young town planners during the event. The Institute, in liaison with the National Chairman of Young Planners Forum, Town Planner Chinedu Odemelam Nitp, has also nominated Town Planner Dr. Kingsley Kanu to be part of the exercise as requested by CAP. Publicity and advocacy. The Institute has made massive investment on building the image of the profession through advocacy programs and publicity initiatives. These have translated into statewide tours and consultations by the national president with institute elders across the zones of the country. The national president has also embarked on a series of working visits to majority of the geopolitical zones of the Federation to galvanize support for state chapters and town planning profession through interactions with state governors and other stakeholders. The national president has so far visited 19 states, as he just reported. This crusade was also extended to Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Honorable Raji Babatunde Fashola, SAN, on 26 October 2020, and Executive Director, Abuja International Housing Show, Barrister Festus Adebayo, on 30 October 2020. The National Assembly has also had a fair share of our publicity engagement. The Institute has also initiated routine World Press conferences, the first of its kind. The inaugural press conference was anchored by the national president on 27th of January 2021. The second came on 20th August 2021. These events have become a potent tool in changing the narrative and psyche about town planning in Nigeria. NITP top rec programs. The first leg of MCPDP held in Lafia, Nasarawa State, from 6 to 17 April 2021, at School of Environmental Studies, Nasarawa State Polytechnic. The program recorded only 147 registered participants, out of which 7 were students. 12 non-paying members were also in attendance. The second leg was in Umuahia, Abia State, from 25th to 27th May 2021 at International Conference Center, Umuahia, with a total participants of 179 and 4 student members. In addition, about 20 students from Imo State University, Abia State University, and Abia Poly had an interactive session with the first National Vice President, the second National Vice President, and my very self, and the top registrar immediately after the town hall meeting. The last leg held in Lagos State from 7 to 8 July 2021 at the Combo Hall, Lagos Television, Agidimbi, with a total of 437 participants, 9 students, and 1 non-member. Council has approved a gradual phasing out of the Nitp top-rec pre-qualification examinations currently anchored by Nitp Examinations Board due to the low patronage, high running costs, and preponderance of degree awarding institutions in town planning. Consequently, the program shall be wound down in phases beginning with 500 level. Membership drive. The Membership Committee, Education and Research Committee, along with top-rec, have been resolute in processing applications for membership of the Institute. So far, Council has approved the following categories of applications for membership. But 2021 Batch A, full membership, about 124 student members. Full members, 124. Student members, 3 in number. 2021 Batch B, full membership, 111. Student membership, 49. 2021 Batch C, full membership, 91 full members and 23 student members. In total, the Institute has a membership strength of 5,780 as at today, 28 October 2021. Memos. This administration has continued to vigorously initiate and pursue strategies to strengthen the practice of town planning in the country. This has culminated in the framing of the following memos, which are currently receiving adequate attention. Establishment of National Urban and Regional Planning Commission. This memo requested the chairman and members of National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development to graciously and expeditiously facilitate the establishment of National Urban and Regional Planning Commission with a view to realizing the aims and objectives of the proposed National Fiscal Development Plans. Formulation of Urban and Regional Planning Standards for Nigeria. This memo also requested the chairman and members of National Council on Land, Housing and Urban Development to graciously and urgently facilitate the engagement of consultants to work and collaborate with the Ministry of Works and Housing along with NITP for the formulation of National Urban and Regional Planning Standards for Nigeria. Nomenclature and placement of town planners in the civil service. The memo called the attention of the National Council on establishment of Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to the wrong designation of town planners as town planning officers compared to other career equivalents in the civil service, and sought for correction of the anomaly in the service scheme of the Federation. Major publication. I am glad to announce to this House that amended Constitution of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, deliberated upon and passed during the AGM of 2020 in Abuja, has been published and published in bound copies and is available for purchase in our Secretariat. Demise of some icons of the profession. Death threw a dagger at the very heart of NITP and snatched away some prominent members of our great institute during the year. We lost past President Town Planner Pa Jacob Aderemi Makinde, Fellow of the Institute, to the cold hands of death on Sunday, 25th April 2021, and former Atopcom President, Town Planner Ni Adetoye, FNITP, on June the 8th, 2021. They have since been buried. We pray the Almighty continues to grant the Institute the fortitude to bear the losses. May their souls and that of our other departed colleagues continue to rest in peace. Appreciation. The year has been worthwhile. The Secretariat has become the greatest beneficiary to the administrative prowess of the National President, Town Planner Toyin Ayinde, Fellow of the Institute, flanked by his two Vice Presidents, Town Planner Nathaniel Atebije, Fellow of the Institute, and Town Planner Andrew Obonnachime, Fellow of the Institute. The sagacity of these men has brought tremendous transformations in the activities and operations of the Secretariat. The implementation of the Institute's policies was also effectual through the collaborative and supportive efforts of my Assistant National Secretaries, in the persons of Town Planner Oluboyinga Ashiru, a Fellow of the Institute, and Town Planner Dr. Mohammed Zayanu, Fellow of the Institute. I appreciate my members of staff, ably led by the Executive Secretary, Town Planner Eric Mbaokan, member of the Institute, who have shown resilience and vigor in the discharge of their individual responsibilities. Finally, we express our profound gratitude to the management, National Executive Committee, and National Council, who have been consistent in ensuring that the labor of the founding fathers of our great institute will not be in vain. It has been a great team and a great experience. Thank you and remain blessed.
Thank you, National Secretary. We will take the other reports before we now adopt them for discussion. So, National Financial Secretary, please.
Permit me to stand on existing protocols. Presentation of the report for National Financial Secretary of the period covering 1st April 2020 to 31st March 2021 to the annual general meeting of NITP holding at LA King's Hotel and Event Center, Port Harcourt, Rivers State on the 29th October 2021. It is my pleasure to present the annual financial statement of our great institute for the year ended March 31st, 2021, which was considered and approved by the Council and at its meeting of 30th September 2021. The comparative highlights in the financial statements are presented below. Total assets for the year 2021, 924,656,282 naira 82 kobo, and in comparison with the year 2020, 861,208,168 naira 36 kobo. Increase is 63,448,111 naira 46 kobo, which has a percentage of 6.86%. Total funds 2021, 844,853,328 naira 76 kobo. For the year 2020, 826,989 naira 585. Okay. 585 naira 4 kobo having an increase of 17,863,738 naira 72 kobo, giving us 2.11% increase. Total liabilities for the year 2021, 79,802,959 naira 6 kobo. For the year 2020, 15,275,786 naira 32 kobo, having an increase of 64,527,172 naira 74 kobo, giving an increase of 80.56%. Summary of income. Fees and subscription. For the year 2021, 47,776,500 naira, and the year 2020, 40,126,738 naira, giving an increase of 7,649,762 naira, with a percentage of 16.01. Operating activities. 2021, 21,537,000 naira, 22 naira. 2020, 27,507,201 naira, having a decrease of 6,033,179 naira, giving us 28.01%. Investment income for the year 2021, 6,151,000, and for the year 2020, 411,669 naira, giving us an increase of 5,739,331 naira, having an increased percentage of 93.31%. Other incomes. 2021, 1,339,088 naira. 2020, 447,424 naira. Increase of 947,664 naira. Percentage increase of 67.93%. Total income 2021, 76,859,610 naira. 2020, 68,556,032 naira. Increase comparison for the years, 8,303,578 naira, giving us increased percentage of 10.8. Expenditures. Employee salaries and benefits. 2021, 16,077,816 naira. 2020, 17,137,354 naira. Decrease of 1,059,538 naira, with a percentage of 6.6. General admin expenses 2021, 28,168,696 naira. 2020, 28,866,717 naira. Decrease of 698,021 naira. Decrease percentage 2.48%. Depreciations and amortization. 2021, 2,700,000 600,018 naira. 2020, 2,311,967 naira. Increase of 288,051 naira, having 11.01% increase. Other expenditure 2021, 6,960,201 naira. 2020, 4,645,100 naira. Increase 2,315,101 naira, with a percentage of 33.26. Impairment charges 2021, 18,449,874 naira. 2020, 12,201,031 naira. Increase 6,248,843 naira, with a percentage of 33.87. Total expenditure 2021, 72,256,605 naira. 2020, 65,102,169 naira. Increase of 7,074,436 naira, with a percentage of 9.79%. The period under review produced an impressive performance when compared with the previous financial year. The total assets increased from 861,208,168 naira 36 kobo in 2020 to 924,656,228 naira 82 kobo as at 31st March 2021, a difference of 6.86%. The total fund increased also from 826,989,585 naira 4 kobo in the previous year to 844,853,323 naira 76 kobo in the year under review, with 2.11% difference, while total liabilities increased by 80.56%. The institute generated 47,776,500 from fees and subscriptions for the year under review, as against an income of 40,126,738 naira for the year ended 31st March 2020, presenting an increase of 16.01%. Operating activities surplus decreased from 27,570,201 naira in 2020 to 21,537,022 naira in 2021, presenting 28.01% decrease over the previous year. Investment income for the period under review is 6,151,000, which is 93.31% more than 411,669 naira realized in 2020. Other incomes increased from 447,428 naira in 2020 to 1,395,088 naira in 2021. This is 67.93% increase. The institute recorded a total income of 76,859,610 naira for the year ended 31st March 2021, as against 68,556,032 naira recorded last year. This presents an increase of 10.8% in activities. The employees' salaries and benefits and general admin expenditure increased by 6.6% and 2.48% respectively over the previous years. Other expenditures and depreciating expenses increased by 33.26% and 11.01% respectively over the previous year. From the income statement, a surplus of 4,759,544 naira was recorded in the year under review, as against 2,980,563 naira, representing an increase of 37.38% when compared with 2020. Kindly go ahead and read through the details as presented by our external auditors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the National Financial Secretary. There's actually no national auditor. That's an error. The national auditor doesn't give report. It's the external auditor that gives report. I want to put a question before us. Do we take on the external auditor and then have the three reports discussed, or you want us to discuss these two? We discuss these two. So will someone move motion to adopt do we have to do about finance? No, but the National Secretary's own is administrative. Okay, let's quickly discuss the first two reports. Will someone move the motion to adopt them for discussion? Yes, please.
I, moving the motion to discuss. Ondo State is moving the motion to discuss the three reports.
Supported by?
Thank you.
The man, there's a lady here. Now that we have a Association of Women Town Planners, so they won't go and lay me in front there.
I, Town Planner Chalia, Abuja Chapter, support the motion.
Okay. Where is the location of our phones? Should be on silent too. Oh yeah, okay, sir.
I want to appreciate all that have been done by the executive and especially the Secretariat. But I want to draw attention to item 14, the Secretary's report, and it's about the Constitution. We want to thank you for publishing the Constitution, but must this be bought by us? I think it should be taken care of by our annual dues. I'm sure it's one of the packages for the newly inducted members. Am I right? So if you've given it to the inducted members, do they have to buy? But in the alternative, I want to suggest for your consideration e-copy of the Constitution in PDF format or whatever format, and this can be sent to the individual's email for our possession, and it makes easy for referral. You don't have to be where the hard copy is before you can access the Constitution. It's a suggestion, sir. Now, on the Financial Secretary's report, with due respect, I think that last column is wrong. The one about percentages increase or decrease. It should be increase or decrease over the base amount, over the year 2020 figure, not over the year 2021 figure. For example, if you take investment income, which rose from 411,000 to 6 million, That's about 1,394% increase, not 93%. And you can, all that column could be reward. Thank you.
Okay, let's list these things quickly. Okay, I don't want batteries to get jump-started. So how many other people have comments, observations, 1 and 2? So Town Planner Moses Ogunleye, after which it will be the turn of Town Planner Awomosu.
Mr. President, I congratulate the ESCO for the changes that we have seen thus far. So I wish you well as you take us to the next 1 year. Now, in section 9.0 of your speech, you talk about faculties. I would like you to elaborate on what is your intention on the transport faculty, where I heard or somebody told me that you have made some efforts. Then what are we doing about the 3 others? Number 2, the one that none of the report covered, Franklin Akinyemi House. Where are we? What did we get from Franklin Akinyemi House? What is the status? Number 3, I've seen our reports, even in state chapters. We refer to past president, past chairman as ex officio 1. And I've checked the constitution. I think it's edifying to call past president immediate past president, not ex officio 1. And immediate past national secretary as immediate past national secretary, not ex officio 2. I mean, somebody will just be wondering, why do you have 4 ex officio? Then lastly, our journal, where are we? Where are we? I didn't hear anything on the journal. Thank you, Mr. President.
My name is Tamblana Omotayo Awomosu from Lagos State Chapter. I want to make comment. I want to ask a question regarding section 12 of the General Secretary's report. It refers to the membership strength of the institute as a 5,780. I want clarification as to whether this is for living, those of us living, or this includes members from the one, so that we can have a better idea of our membership strength and not just a historical figure. Yeah, and I've heard yours too. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's quickly solve this together. Our constitution has always been on sale. The ones you think that the new members got free, they didn't get free because there are charges that they pay. So please, for now, let our publications be paid for now. Because indeed, if this institute is to run the way this administration wants it to run, we will really need more funding. And none better could express it than state chapter chairmen who had a retreat in Abuja in February. They were the ones that actually said our annual dues look like pittance. And it's one of those council resolutions that I'll be bringing up later. So for now, I wish everyone could get some of these things free. But salvation may be free, but it cost somebody's blood. So, so that's the way it is for now. And so even when we are given things free, we should know that it wasn't gotten free. You know, somebody paid for it. It's like, as we were coming in for the conference, we were being given sheets of COVID-19 protocols and things like that. It was somebody that paid for it too. So, sir, if you permit me, sir, let's leave it this way for now. The electronic copy is possible, but get electronic copy as an addition to your physical copy. Because I had, for the last constitution, I had like 5, and I was putting it in different bags so that there is no meeting I will come and they will mention it. And then I also had an electronic copy on my iPad and on my iPhone. That we will do. Now the adjustment of percentage, we agree that there was either increase or decrease. The issue now is about percentage, and I believe you will work on that. Can you give me? Sorry, I have to pick this call. Somebody wants to find her way to this place.
He's still president. He's still here, sir. Okay, take your mic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. On faculties, prior to this, to the ascent of this administration, we were informed that some faculties were approved. I think there was an effort to make the transport faculty take off, but it didn't. I almost got into being deceived that the anchor person was not doing anything, and we were even about to approach another person to anchor it, until I stumbled across vital information that had been submitted previously. So those documents have been woken up, have discussed with the anchor, and on Monday we got Council's approval to take off. I had thought that the anchor would be here so that he could address members in AGM, but we can always do that in the course of the year. So definitely we will take off. We're going to use that as a pilot to now address the other faculties, because I've not seen documents on those ones. Number 4, Franklin Akinyemi, we already reported last year that tenants have moved in. They had paid 5 years rent in advance. So, 3 years rent in advance. So, the part of the funds you are hearing in a financial report includes a return on investment that we have got from Franklin Akinyemi House, and I'm trying as much as possible not to spend the whole thing before this man becomes national president, realizing that it's for 3 years, you know. So Franklin Akinyemi has tenant now. All that we have a Franklin Akinyemi House committee that is supposed to go there once in a while and just check on what is going on in the building. The chairman is not here. The chairman is Tamplana Rotimi Abdul. So, but that's the update on Franklin Akinyemi House. Offices of the immediate past national president and immediate past national secretary. I agree with you. And in some institutions, they just have ex officio 1 and 2, because those ones remain immediate past. And truly, we should just have ex officios, because you have ex officio 1, ex officio 2, and we take it sometimes as offices that have to be particularly voted for and things like that. So we will look into that. We'll resolve that. The journal, I just got a copy of the journal now. Our editor-in-chief had been ill, and therefore the production of the journal became ill. But truly, I think going forward, we must evolve a system where the person does not amount to the institution, so that we can do this on our own. This is out here, and I understand it's for 3,000 naira only. It's another publication, and salvation is free, or someone paid for it. Thank you, sir. Finally, our membership figure. For now, that figure is our register from the beginning of when NITP was formed. We have, in the last council meeting, given a deadline to state chapter chairmen. Over and over and over again, they have been sent lists for them to confirm those who are alive, those who are no longer in their state chapters, and to return a clean copy to the institute. They haven't done it, and there is nothing a president or national secretary sitting here will be able to do about it. So we gave an ultimatum that any state chapter chairman who does not submit by the end of November, so state chapter members, listen, we will not allow that state chapter chairman in council meeting. So there are, if you check Lagos State Register, you'll still be seeing Kabir Yari, who is now in Abuja. Some of the people originated in Lagos State, but they have relocated, they have transferred. So all of these are things that we are pleading that state chapter chairman, this chairmanship assignment is service, it's not ego. It's not carrying Babariga around that I'm the chairman. There's work to do. The state chapter chairman has a duty to make his members love planning. Those who are not registered, they will love to register. And that's the way you work things out. So please, state chapter chairman, help us resolve the riddle that Tamplanatayo Awomosu has raised. We actually need to know those who have passed on beyond. I will expect that next year, Tamplana Remi Makinde's name will not be in the register of Lagos State, for example. So that's the answer. We're still trying to work it out, sir. And they pledge to do so. So if we see anyone failing, we will let you know. We will let the chapter know. You want to? Okay, I will take just to that one, please. Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm still adopting the existing protocol. I want to respond to the burden being passed to the chairman of state chapters. I think we need to also take it back as part of the administrative work at the national level. And even beyond that, I was ruminating in my mind that we're supposed to have a research and statistics unit in the national secretariat, whereby we can have even the analysis of membership, those that have retired, those that are looking for job, those. So the responsibility is purely that of the national, because if somebody had been a past president and has relocated, and then we still say the state chapter that where he started work should still be one to be finding whether he's still there or not. We all know the obvious one. But the antidote to that, sir, which I want to suggest, is that the council should recertify. Some people are just, town planners registered by name, maybe going to Dubai or not even doing any planning work. So if you already certify, those who are still interested in this profession, we show interest, and we can use that to also make sure that we know how many of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm surprised that you do not understand that the national information must come from the local. So even the research you are talking about, we will research into the local chapters. So they will give us, the national cannot know who is jobless in a state. It's the state that knows them. So I think what is needed is more interaction between the national and the state chapters. And state chapters chairmen will confess that there has been increased interaction between them and national. Am I right, state chapter chairman? December last year, towards the end of the year, I picked up my phone and I began to call every state chapter chairman. And many of them did not have my numbers or my number. But once I mentioned my name is Tonya, they say, our president. I said, I called you to find out how you are doing, how your family is doing, and how the state chapter is doing in your hands. And this will be a regular call. So I believe that we're starting something that is getting us better. Secondly, the nationwide tour, the tour of the president, is helping also to discover more about the states. So, really and truly, for the national to have information of members, we must revert to the state chapters. Thank you very much, sir. I will now ask, sir? Okay, I will take what Baba, the chairman, College of Fellows, and member Board of Trustees wants to say, and will now invite the external auditor to come after his statement.
Mr. President, thank you for allowing me to say a word or two. I'm sorry I wasn't here at the beginning. I asked the Secretary of College of Fellows to obtain permission that I would be late. Yes, sir. This topic about our number is very important. That will help us to decide whether we should start from now the need to have more members to the court. And it is important that as soon as we know it, we will start making arrangements for the selection board to continue its work. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for the point raised. In fact, we can stress the conversation further because if we know the number of people who are alive, we may also want to stretch it further. The number of those who are financially further. But what is underlined here is that we must get our numbers correctly. We may be Nigerians. Let's not act like Nigeria. It's Nigeria that does not know the number of people in Nigeria. But I think we should be able to know our number. We are not doing projections, right? So state chapter chairman, please help us. Let's sort this out by first quarter 2022 so that the actual number and we know whether we truly need to admit new fellows. Thank you very much. Is the external auditor here? Please. Try to help us. I see it's a voluminous report, but I also know that you know how to point to the essential areas.
Thank you very much. I stand on the existing protocol. I beg to do that. And I say good afternoon to you all. It's a great honor and privilege to stand before you and present the auditor's report at this 52 annual general meeting of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, the Institute. These financial statements comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st March 2021, the statement of comprehensive income, changes in members' funds, statements of cash flow for the year then ended, and a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the Institute financial affairs as at 31st March 2021 and of the financial performance and its cash flows for the year ended on that date in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards, compliance with the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act No. 6, 2011, and the requirements of the Constitution of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, basis for our opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing and applicable laws. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described below in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the Institute in accordance with the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, and fulfill our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and relevant extant laws of the Federation of Nigeria as applicable to the Institute. We believe that the audit evidence we obtain is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Are applicable of materiality. We define materiality as a magnitude of misstatement in the financial statement that makes it probable that the economic decision of a reasonable, knowledgeable person will be changed or influenced. We use materiality in determining the nature, timing, and extent of our audit work and in evaluating the results of that work. We have determined materiality for the audit of the financial statement as a whole to be 1,649,211 naira 48 kobo, as against 2020, which is 1,500,946 naira 96 kobo, which is approximately 1.2% of the Institute's total revenue. This benchmark is considered the most appropriate because the success of the Institute is determined by the number of students and members, which is represented by revenue in the financial statement. So materiality percentage for the current year is lower than the level that we determined for the year ended at 1st March 2020 in order to reflect the prudence in the financial statement. Even though there's an increase in the Institute total revenue, our benchmarking percentage and our enhanced knowledge and experience of the Institute activity. We use a different level of materiality, performance materiality to drive the extent of our testing, and this was set at 75% of financial statement materiality for the audit of the financial statement. We also determine a lower level of specific materiality for certain areas, such as remuneration of senior management. We have also determined the threshold at which we communicate misstatement to the audit committee to be 455,000 as against 490,000 in 2020. In addition, we communicate misstatement below that threshold that, in our view, warrant reporting on qualitative grounds. key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters that in our professional judgment were of most significance in our audit of the financial statement of the current period. These matters we address in the context of our audit of the financial statement as a whole and informing our opinion thereon, and we did not provide a separate opinion on these matters. So in preparing the financial statement, the Institute made a number of subjective judgments, for example, in respect of significant accounting estimates that involve making assumptions and considering future events that are inherently uncertain. We focus our work primarily on these areas by assessing the Institute judgment against available evidence, forming our own judgment and evaluating the disclosure in the financial statement. We also address the risks of management override of controls, including evaluating where there was evidence of bias by the Council, which may represent a risk of material misstatement, especially in areas of critical accounting estimates and judgments. In our audit, we tested and examined information using sampling and other audit techniques to the extent we consider necessary to provide a reasonable basis for us to draw conclusions. We obtained evidence through testing the effectiveness of control, substantive procedures, or a combination of both. Therefore, our assessment of the most significant risks of material misstatement and resulting key audit matters, which are those risks having the greatest effect on the audit strategy requiring particular focus, is detailed below. This is not a complete list of all risks identified by audit. Investment property. The Nitp Franklin Akiemi House property was rented out during the accounting year by J. Ajayi, Patinola and Co., presently managing the property, to Ebony Life. The property was rented out by the agent at an annual rent of 25 million naira only. So the sum of 75 million naira only was paid for 3 years. An agreed 4.5% management fee was deducted as source as contained in the contract agreement with the Institute, and a balance of 75,625,000 naira was deposited to the Institute account. And like we know, it was paid for 3 years, and it had to be apportioned appropriately. Each year carries its own percentage, and that is why you are seeing investment income to be 6,151,000 as reported by the Financial Secretary and also stated in the financial statement. We will not consume the whole 71 million in this very accounting year, and that is why you saw your liability also increased, because when they read and you saw your liability increase, I'm sure some of you were shaking your head. That is because the remaining parts of the money stood as liability to the Institute because it has not yet fulfilled the contract agreement for that period. So each year we take the portion that is applicable to the year and bring it out for reporting and expenditure. Bless you. So how our audit address the key matter of the investment property? Our procedure includes the following amongst other: obtain an understanding of the contract agreement between the Institute and the agent J. Ajayi, Patinola and Co., presently managing the property; confirm the receipt of the 3 years rent paid to the Institute investment account; evaluated and assessed the accounting treatment of the total sum based on the principle of deferred income; test the completeness and accuracy of the appropriation of the sum for the year ended; ascertain the correctness of the commission deducted in accordance with the contract agreement; and check the adequacy of the disclosure in the financial statement for compliance with the requirements of the relevant accounting standard. Inventory. Inventories include assets held for resale in the ordinary course of business. Under FRS, inventories are measured at the lower of cost and net realizable value. Net realizable value is the estimated selling price less the estimated cost necessary to make the resale. The Institute had inventory which were valued and accounted for in the then ended accounting year. These include journals from 2012 to 2020, books such as State of Urban Disaster Risk Management, Enhancing Likable of Information Settlement. We have lapels for fellows and members and others. All these were inventory of the Institute that were revalued and accounted for in the then financial year. how our audit addressed the key audit matter. Our procedure includes the following amongst others: obtaining an understanding of the institute inventory to ensure that they were assets held for resale in the ordinary course of operation. Assess the inventory to ascertain their availability and proximity. Inventories are revalued and measured at the lower of cost, less net reliable value. Assess the completeness and accuracy of inventories revalue. Evaluated the adequate record keeping of the inventories and ensure it's accounted for in the financial statement for the year ended in accordance with the accounting principles. Impairment of members' due receivable. The Institute adopted IFRS 9, that financial instrument which became effective on January 1st, 2018. The key change from the adoption of IFRS 9 is a significant difference in determining the impairment allowance, which is now based on an expected credit loss model rather than an incurred loss model. So the Council is required to make judgment and assumption in the application of the appropriate ECL model for the measurement of impairment allowance for members' dues receivable. Some of these judgments are estimates, which include definition of fault for the purpose of determining the risks of a default occurring, historical assessment of default rates and the impact of forward-looking information, estimating the probability of default occurring, and the loss given default. The extent of estimation and judgment involved in determining the impairment allowance required made the impairment of members due receivable an area of significant focus during the audit. And what was our procedure? How did we address the matter? We obtain an understanding of the institute credit control process, and we test the design, implementation, and operating effectiveness of the relevant control. We also assess the completeness and accuracy of historical impairment data, which form the basis for the agreed position percentage applied in the ECL model. We also evaluated the institute definition of default based on historical impairment data. On a sample basis, we evaluated the credit terms and the historical payments and default patterns of members' category. We reperformed the calculation of impairment allowance using the institute impairment model and validated key inputs in order to assess the adequacy of the impairment allowance recognized. We also checked the adequacy of the disclosure of the financial statement for compliance with requirements of the relevant accounting standard. Revenue recognition. The Institute also adopted IFRS 15, revenue from contract with customer, which became effective on 1st January 2018. This required the Institute to estimate revenue with respect to members' outstanding dues, which will impact the revenue reported in the year. These dues have been recognized earlier on, but disclosed by way of notes in the financial statement. The estimate requires significant judgment and relies on the revenue of historical debt profile. At this junction, I just want to make us understand some things. That with the adoption of IFRS 15, we are saying that every member of the institute, once it's the beginning of the year, your money is due to be received. And so we receive it as income. And at times you see us reporting the income that is yet to be collected because of the standard of the standard of IFRS 15 that we have adopted. So whether you pay it or not to the institute, it becomes an income according to the standard. And that is why what we are discussing today is very relevant, so that we know the members, because right as we continue in the report, you will begin to see the number of outstanding dues keep on increasing every year, and payments are not being received. And we are also reporting them as outstanding, which is now increasing our asset base, which is not too good for us. So I believe that when this is done, and you now know the members that you have, it's going to help a long way for us to recognize our revenue properly. So this is a key audit matter due to the significant judgment and assumption applied in estimating the revenue to be recognized. Furthermore, revenue is the most significant income statement account, and it impacts the major key performance indicator on which the institute is based. So how our audit address the key audit matter? Our procedure includes the following. We obtain an understanding of the revenue recognition process and tested the design, implementation, and operating effectiveness of key controls around revenue recognition process. We challenge the assumption made in estimating the impairment allowance based on our knowledge of the industry, institute operation, and checking the history of the debt profile of 5 years. We also assess the adequacy of the outstanding dues by comparing members' due receivables subsequent to the year end to the outstanding dues recognized. Now, dues receivable. There are about 4,876 members and fellows of the institute whose annual dues are outstanding, and to the sum of 143,375,500 naira only. Well, we saw great improvement in the recovery of outstanding dues for this period, and also increase in dues paid in advance. So a total of 5,715,200 naira only was recovered from 427 members, while 480,000 naira was recovered from 34 fellows. There was an advance payment made by 20 fellows to the sum of 331,000, and also 760,000 made by 80 members. So we are trying to say that there was an improvement, a very great improvement in the payment of the outstanding dues. But out of 4,876 members whose dues are outstanding, only 427 people have actually paid. And I know that with the move that our national president, your national president is taking, I'm sure that more of the dues will be, the outstanding dues will be recovered. Thank you very much. So how our audit address the key matter? Our procedure includes the following: obtain an understanding of the institute dues receivable, assess the completeness and accuracy of receivable data, which form the basis of the parameter used. We also evaluated the analysis of the list of receivable made according to chapter. On a sample basis, we evaluated the names of receivable to confirm their membership of the institute and check the adequacy of the disclosure in the financial statement for compliance with requirements of the relevant accounting standard. Reporting on other information. The council is responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the minutes of the last annual general meeting, details of officers and council members, reports of key office holders and committees of the council, statement of value added, and 5 years financial summary, but does not include the financial statements, not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusion thereon. So in connection with our audit of the financial statement, our responsibility is to read the other information, identify above, and in so doing consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statement or our knowledge obtained during the audit, or otherwise appear to be materially misstated. If based on the work we have performed on the other information that we obtained prior to the date of this audit report, we conclude that there's a material misstatement of this other information, we require to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Responsibilities of counsel for the financial statement. The counsel is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of this financial statement in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standard and with the requirement of Nigerian Institute of Town Planner Act, and for such internal control. As the council determined it's necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether are due to fraud or error. So in preparing the financial statement, the council is responsible for assessing the institute's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing as applicable matters related to going concern, and using the going concern basis of accounting unless there is a legislation that either intends to repeal the enabling act of the institute or has no realistic alternative but to do so. Those charged with governance are responsible for overseeing the institute's financial reporting process. The auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance as to whether the financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion But reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance. But it's not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with ISAs will detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatement can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if individually or in the aggregate they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decision of users taken on the basis of those financial statements. So as part of our audit in accordance with ISS, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also identify and assess the risks of material misstatement of the financial statement, whether due to opinion on the effectiveness of the institute internal control, evaluate the appropriateness or accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosure made by the management, conclude on the appropriateness of the management use of the going concern basis of accounting based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material or certainty exists related to events or condition that was significant doubt on that can cast significant doubt on the institute's ability to draw attention in our audit report to the related disclosure in the financial statement, or if such disclosure are inadequate to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained up to the date of our report. However, future events or condition may cause the institute to cease to continue as a going concern. We evaluate the overall presentation, structure, and content of the financial statement, including the disclosure, and whether the financial statement represents the underlying transactions and events in a matter that achieves fair presentation. Obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding the financial information of the operating activities within the institute in order to express an opinion on the financial statement. We are responsible for the direction, supervision, and performance of the audit. We remain solely responsible for our audit opinion. We communicated with the council regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit and significant audit findings, including any significant deficiency in internal control that we identified during our audit. Our report on the legal and regulatory requirements. Furthermore, we confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the institute insofar as appears from our examination of those books. The institute statement of financial position and statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. The institute has complied with the provision of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act number 6, 2011, and the requirement of the Constitution of the Nigeria Institute of Town Planners 2010. Conclusion. We wish to appreciate the improvements in the performance of the present administration. The key issue raised during the last audit as the training of account staff and some weaknesses leveraging on the internal control were adequately addressed, resulting to more productive performance. We hope to see more of this in the subsequent year. Thank you very much and have a wonderful conclusive 52 annual general meeting, the Nigerian Town Planners, Institute of Town Planners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, External Auditor. Can you give her a chair to sit for like 2 minutes? And give her a bottle of water so that she can drink. We are very kind people. Now we just listen to the report of the external auditors. Will someone move motion for the discussion of this report? Yes, please.
Giwa Olayinka Mohammed Sanusi from Kwara State Chapter. So move for the deliberation.
Supported in front here.
I, Tampa Sani Daniel, fellow of the Institute, support the motion for us to deliberate on the audit report.
Thank you. Do we have questions to ask our external auditor? Not comment, oh. Questions. Do we have questions to ask our external auditor? If anybody has any question, please raise up your hand, full mast, not half mast. Any question? Question, no, not yes. Question from there. And no other question, because that's the only one that. A simple question, sir. It's you that will define whether it's simple, sir. So then there will be another question from Chairman, College of Fellows. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. My name is Tamplana Fumi Modebola Fademene from Ondo State. Madam, during your presentation, you talked about a particular platform that the Institute is using that aggregates the amount, the due payable by members, even when they've not paid it for that particular year, and has it as an asset for them. And just like you also said, that becomes maybe a liability later on, because what we see is that we have so amount of money that is accruable to us, but at the end of the day, that amount that comes in is not up to what we expected. Now, what will be your recommendation? Should the Institute go ahead using this particular platform, despite the fact that a lot of members are still owing dues, and year in, year out, we had these dues together as asset, whereby we are not even having such an amount? Do you still recommend the usage of this particular platform? Thank you.
Mine is a simple question. But permit me to thank the external auditor, the full confidence, the articulation and the delivery of the report. But you know, most of us are not schooled in accounting. And so I'm putting a simple question. Has the administration done well? Yes or no?
Okay. I will invite the external auditor to answer the first tough question and the second simple question. Please.
Thank you very much. It means that I had your audience when I was presenting my report for you to come up with all these questions. The first question was, what do we do? Well, it is a standard that we have adopted, and a standard that had come that all institutes, organizations, parastatals should adopt as from 1st January 2018. So there's nothing we'll do about changing the standard. But one thing again that the standard provided, which we also did, was the provision of impairment allowance. The provision of impairment allowance. If you go through your financial statements, you will see when the financial secretary was reading her financial report, she gave the impairment allowance as to 18 million and above, as against the 12 million of last year. So the impairment allowance is a provision that was made that, okay, in case we are not able to collect all this fee, what allowance do we make? And that is why you see in our key matters, we talk of the ECL, the expected credit model. We also talked about the allowance. The institute went ahead and adopted all that. So we looked at the accuracy of what they have done and discovered that the impairment allowance provided is also okay. So if you look at that, it falls into our liability, and even though we had big income of 47 million plus, at the end of the day, also our liability increased, and you could see that our profits, our surplus margin was minimal. I thought that somebody would raise the question, why should we have such huge amount of income and we are making very low, we are having very small surplus? Is it that we are not doing well? Are we overspending our money? That is not the truth. The truth is that we have made provision for the impairment, made impairment provision for those dues that have not been collected. And at the end of the day, we had little surplus. So it's not as if we reported all the dues, reported that great amount of income, and we did not do anything about it. The standard also provided for an impairment allowance, which you also adopted. Then the other questions, the simple questions. Well, if you look at the conclusion of the audit report, I think I commended the efforts of this present administration. And if you have time, go through the financial statements, go through the position, the income statements, the financial position, the cash flow, and all that is in your report from page 13 to about page 42 or 43. All, and there's also notes, explanatory notes to all. So I want each and every one of you to go home, take your time, and go through the financial reports, and I think you will give the present administration, if not a standing ovation, a hand of applause for a good job well done. They actually did very well. We saw a great improvement in the recovery of all this. I think during the course of my audit, I made a list. I was going to frighten the national president, telling him that this is the amount that people are owing, to the tune of this 143 million plus that I read out for you. I made a list of all those people that are owing, chapter by chapter, and gave it to the national president and asked him, okay, look at this list. You are the national president. You are to look into it and know those that are living, those that are active. Send it to all the chapters. Let the chapter now work on it. I even gave them recommendation as if they could set up a committee, a recovery committee that can work on the recovery of this due. Because more of the dues you have, I'm sure the national president will not bother you with contributing money, pay 100,000, buying this, like one of our fellow here is suggesting that they should not buy the constitution and the rest. If there's enough money, I'm not sure the president will be looking for ways again of raising the money. You could imagine 143 million outstanding as dues receivable. If we can even have half of it, I'm sure most of the project he wants to do will be concluded in a very short time, and all of us will be happy people. Thank you very much.
Please still sit down. Thank you for your response. The time of question is over. Now, does anyone have a comment on the report? One and only one. Tamplana Dediran, sir.
Thank you very much. I think for the first time in my attending the annual general meeting, the report of the auditor gives me satisfaction and hope for the future. And for that, I want to commend the chairman and the council for this choice and for the report well presented. However, according to the provisions of the Constitution, you're supposed to receive it before the AGM. So maybe that will give us also opportunity to have gone through it and make informed decision. So maybe if you can follow that, it will be well appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that commendation. I don't know why people are very Shylock with their applause. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Let me say that this is probably one of the earliest audit exercise that this institute has ever done. We ensure that on the dot of, our accounts close March 31st, right? And we just asked her, when will you like to come in? And I think the following month or so, they moved in. So we already had this report a long time. We had sufficient time. That's why we were not panicking when we were putting it in the documentation of the AGM proceedings. But like I said earlier, if we got all of this since Monday or Tuesday, we also expect us to flip through so that coming here, we will have had more information. I don't know. We may try it. I don't know how it looks, sending out the auditor's report before the conference, because she still has to come and present to us here. But we will do our best, and I want to thank you. Thank you, external auditor. Now, if you have lunch for her, you can add that, because she has been commended for a job well done. Thank you very much. Now, I'll be going to reporting. Sir? I'd like to report council resolutions to AGM so that we can take our final decisions, after which I will not take my seat. After that, I will just read my valedictory speech. Sorry, I have to. When you are putting on a parachute, you have to watch all those things that can drag you. I understand. The communication has to be taken under my administration. So after the presentation of council resolutions to the AGM for us to decide, I will sit down and then we will take the communique. I know that the system is now up and running in Jesus' name, right? Abi? He says it's okay in Jesus, inshallah. So it's very okay. Now, there are about four issues that I'll bring as a report from Counsel. And let me start with the one that scares me most, and is the upward review of annual membership dues. I bring this with a lot of sense of responsibility, because I am one who also likes probity, openness, and accountability. We found that for our institute to run the way we want, and for us to be able to achieve all of those things we intend to achieve, our annual dues are insufficient to power what we want to do, albeit very few people are even paying. But like the external auditor said, and as confirmed by our financial sector in the executive, let me say that our financial sector is manned or is womaned by women. The National Financial Secretary is a female, the National Treasurer is a female, the National Auditor is a female, and the three of them have done excellently well. So this executive made a presentation to the council in April, and we got approval to increase our annual dues. And this is because, first, the last time our views were reviewed was in 2011. In 2011, the value of $1 to 1 naira was 155 naira 93 kobo. In 2021, 27th October, the value of $1 to naira is 571 naira only. Considering this, we find that we are struggling to actually keep the institute afloat. So we made a few comparisons, and one of those we took were those that we thought were close to us, the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors, where we know that their fellows pay 30,000 naira per annum. Their full members pay 30,000 naira per annum. Their graduate members pay 7,500. So we made a proposal to the council to increase our dues from fellows currently paying 10,000 to 30,000 naira, full members paying 5,000 to 15,000 naira, graduates paying nothing to 5,000 naira, and students paying nothing to 1,000 naira. After deliberations by members of council, council approved the following for presentation before the AGM. Fellows should graduate from 10,000 naira to 20,000 naira. Full members should upscale from 5,000 to 10,000 naira. Graduate members should pay 5,000 naira, and student members to pay 1,000 naira. All of these amounts are per annum, not per month. That is the first council resolution I bring for discussion and approval. Any contribution on this? Anyone against? Okay, can we have? I have a comment from Tamplana Balogun. Can I just see all who want to? Yes, sir. One, two, three, four, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put it again in mind. And like I said at the beginning, If someone has said what you intend to say, just pass. Let's start with you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, Town Planner Balogun Muritala from Lagos State. I want to commend Counsel for that review. And we have to come from the insight that there are other professional colleagues in the country who also are interested in the built environment like town planners. And given the report from the auditor and the financial statement of the institute, I believe we needed to agree with Council's suggestion to increase the dues payable by all of us. So I want to support the motion that, as proposed and presented to us at this meeting, we should accept and adopt that review. From the fact that there are so many issues the institute needs to face financially, for us to move ahead, I want to concur. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Before I go on to others, do we have a support for that motion?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, you may please sit down.
Thank you.
Who has a different opinion? Let's start from Town Planner.
Hello? Number 2.
Oh, sorry.
Your Excellency, number 2. I just want to make just a minor amendment to your proposition. There are members who are members of the institute that are members for 20 years, 30 years without being fellows. We should group those people together. If you are registered, say, drag members are now 5,000 or 10,000, 5,000. Minimum for members, 10,000. I think members who have been members for more than 20 years should migrate to 20,000. And then fellows, 20,000.
Okay. That's a variation. Wait. The summary of what Oga said is that you should show cause that you are an experienced professional. So why should you pay the same thing like someone who is 10 years old in the practice? That's what he's talking about. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to modify the payment structure as it affects fellows. From my experience, and a fellow of about few years, I discovered that in the bid to show commitment and dedication to the profession, fellows has been tagged as the milking cow of the institute. At the local level, payments are higher for fellows. Any event, think about it over the years. The first target is fellow. I'm not saying fellows cannot pay, but the truth is that the more you become a fellow, the longer you stay there, the lower your receivables. So, if you want to kill the cow, we may approve 30,000, but the fact is that our receivable will be lower. Is it 20,000? And now the rate of increment is 100%.
The council did not approve what we gave to them. The council amended. So it's what council amended that I read out.
Now I'm trying to modify. A machine that is still active should contribute more than the old man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think if you really want this if we really want this professional body to move forward, and we need to look at funding it. You should not be coming here to talk of funding the infrastructure, and then we say we ourselves, our association, we should not fund it. What we are talking about now, going up and down, is about $38. And some of us, we are eager to go abroad to attend conferences, and we pay. We pay. I don't want to mention how much we pay. At least we take airfare, we pay. So if the council will not want us to move more than 20,000, I will say, well, we have to also look at looking at the way Nigeria goes with respect to inflation. We should not be doing this, to be going to at least doubling. We can't be saying that 5 years we have to be looking at reviewing.
This fellow that is running outside, Olu, I hope you are going to bring more money for the institute.
But what I will want us to also do is to have a covenant between the members, fellows, and the council. We know that you can't do anything without money, but there also should be an agreement between us today that if I'm paying 20,000 effective from January next year, I should be entitled to certain things, service, basic service. And that basic service will include receiving certain materials, receiving certain information, even the demand notice for that money. We shouldn't just assume that I will be aware. I should be reminded. And when you are registering me, you ask for my contact address. You should send it even to my mailbox. So that is the agreement I want us to reach. And I want to thank you for reviewing it to fit the present moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It means you do not disagree. You are in support. Are you disagreeing? No. You see, I said at the beginning, all these addition. Look, all we have been saying since is to say it's due. We should do it. Yeah. Should we do it? Yeah. Thank you. Do you want us to put it to vote? No. Good. Those who are in support, please raise up your hands. Can you count for us? You know what? Count that row. You know what? You come and count this row. Madam Lion, come and count this place. Yes, sir. Wait now. In support of the increase.
There is no counter motion.
There is no counter motion, Papa. No. Some people said no. Okay. Let's reset. Those who said no, can someone come and move a motion? Yes, please come forward and take the mic and move your motion. No, why don't you come forward, face the members. Come forward, identify yourself.
Town Planner M.A. Ghazali Agbola from Osun State.
Okay. Membership number what?
Membership number 1896.
Okay.
Yes. I'm free, sir.
Just go on.
I'm free, sir.
Just go on.
Yes. I want to raise a motion that the increment be adjusted. I'm supporting an increment, but it should be adjusted. The reason is this, sir.
That's all right. You support an increment?
Yes.
That's not a no. Please go and sit down. Please go and sit down.
I want adjustments.
Please go and sit down, please. The increase is hereby approved. Resolution 2. Before I cross to resolution 2, let me note that, in fact, the external auditor confirmed it, that some fellows have paid ahead. Some members too have paid ahead. We can't shift the goalpost in the middle of the game. So they made that payment in good faith, and the institute has used their money to run the business. So they begin to pay the new due at the expiration of their investment. Except they choose to bless us. No, that's the truth. I think I've paid up till 2026 or so. I've paid. So, but I choose to bless the institute. Second resolution is on the association on which one? This one is gone. Oh, my last statement. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to draw your attention to the gap in that last statement. If you have paid, even in 10 years' time, and the situation has changed, you have to pay the difference. I will cite an example. I belong to Ikeja Golf Club. The executive members reviewed the fees, and we are asked to pay the difference of that revision. So, in a normal climb, the economic rate stands. If the rate has moved up, we just need to notify all those who have paid in advance to pay from the effectiveness of that rate review. Thank you.
Is there any support for that? Wait now. I don't heckle people now. Yes.
Yeah, what I want to say is a little different from what Taplana Ananaye said. My view is that why I agree that people who pay beforehand should not be asked to pay the difference. But for members aware of the decision, the impending decision, it will amount to insider abuse or something to that effect if they benefit from the decision. Because they know beforehand, you could easily have known beforehand that something is coming and you pay upfront. So for the thank you.
I think that is penalizing someone for being a member of EXCO. In this EXCO, nobody has done that. I paid in advance before I even became a second national vice president. So that's the way I've operated. So we have to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. What I think I should add is that the increase is effective from 28th October 2021. So nobody can rush and go and pay 5,000 or go and rush and pay 10,000 naira. So with effect from today, the increment takes place. Why are you looking at me like that? Okay. Association of Women in Town Planning. The association has presented its draft bylaw to Council, but it is still a document in progress. It is being worked out. But Council approved that the association could hold election to pro tem offices, which they did yesterday. I have not been advised about the list, therefore I cannot announce, but just for us to know that the association has taken off. This is particularly important to me because at the Commonwealth Association of Planners, there's a coordinator that they are meant to relate with. The third is venues for national conferences. We decided this year to take a further look than just 1 year. If you Google the American Planning Association, you will see their venues for the next 10 years. So we said, okay, let's try first 2 years here. It will give an opportunity for the hosting state to start running from now. And maybe by next year, we will decide who is hosting in 2024. So we have venues for the 2022 conference and the 2023 conference. We should not forget our convention of moving our conferences between the northern part of the country and the southern part of the country. And in all of this, we are also considering security and safety issues. One of the prime questions people ask me when they hear I'm doing nationwide tour is, are you going with policemen? Even the state that is hosting me next week, they're asking, will you go with some policemen? So we are concerned when we are moving as a body. So we also asked the chapters to bid. So you bid for the conference, and bidding will include your thinking about the facilities that you really have, so that we don't bring our members to a place where there is no facility. Consequently, at the end of bids from Kwara, FCT, and Delta State, Council approved 2 venues. 2022, Abuja, Federal Capital Territory. 2023, Asaba, Delta State. The last information, this is from the joint president of TOPREC and Nitp, is to announce the venues. Now is possible venues, and then we will take a decision for the MCPDP 2022. For the North, Ilorin in Kwara State and or Makurdi in Benue State. Is the Kwara State chapter chairman here? Is the Benue State chapter chairman here? Is there any representative of the Benue State chapter chairman here? Where is the representative? So we can decide anyway. Can someone speak for Kwara? If Kwara is in a position to host it, they are not sure. Can someone speak for? Yes, please.
I, Tamplana Giwa, from Kwara State, am representing the interest of Kwara State chapter that we shall be able to hold the MCTPC come come 2022 as suggested.
Okay, that's an intention. Town Planner Bumi Ajayi has a comment on that. Just wait now. Where is the Benue person? Just wait.
Given what we know about what is going on in Kwara, you cannot tell us that you are ready. When your governor went to put you under GIS, and we are still fighting about that, your governor is not ready for us, is not ready for town planning, is not friendly to town planning, and until we sort out our problem with him, we cannot come to Kwara.
Past president, sir, is our going to Kwara not a strategy for us to educate the governor? So it is possible for us to educate him. So, but let's listen to the representative of Benue. We're going to take a decision here, so the decision will be yours.
My name is Town Planner Daladi Jubril. Without talking much, even with the recent visit of the national president to Benue, I am sure you can even help us convince the council that Benue is really ready. Yes, Benue is the best option to host this year MCPDP.
Okay, can we put this to vote? A motion. Can someone? He raised the motion that we should host it in Kwara. Who is supporting? There's a supporter. A motion to host it in Benue. Who is supporting? Good. We have two motions. Who is counting for us? Where is Lion? Where is Solidotu? Okay. FCT chapter. You will count this row. So just get up and count this row. I know nobody can bribe you. Elijah, come and count this row. And then the lady behind Zedo. Behind Zedo. The lady behind you. Get up. Go and count that row. Quickly. Those is one of two venues. You vote once. You want Kwara or you want Benue. Those in support that we should host the MCPDP in Ilori, Kwara State, please raise up your hands. And quickly, just run through. You may have to move. Quickly, don't put your hands in half-mast.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than 1/3 since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose
I start again. Can I go ahead? Oga, which hand are you raising? I just want to make the announcement again. Those in support of Ado Ekiti as the venue, please raise up your hand. Quickly count. Which one? I will announce the three together. Those in support of Akure, please raise up your hand. Quickly, quickly. No, there is need to count. Let's be fast so that we can decide on Uyo and Yenagua. The east, the eastern zone, we have Uyo and Yenagua. Those in support of Yenagua, please raise up your hands. Yenagua. Quickly count. Those, which one did I mention first? Yenagua, right? Those, I mentioned Yenagua first. Those in support of Uyo, please raise up your hands. NEC is observer, because anywhere you will go. Yes, now, if you have assignment, you will go anywhere now. Oh yeah, now this, our counters. Okay, while the votes are being summed up, I would like to invite Town Planner Moses Olubunmi Ajayi, past president, Town Planner Dr. Moses Olubunmi Ajayi, who was Council's representative, along with Town Planner Steve I. Ono, to be observers at the election of the Association of Women in Town Planning, to please come up and tell us the results. So I'll be back to tell us the votes.
The President, and we stand on all other protocols. Counsel, it gives us great joy to report that the women were very, very organized. They already did their politics behind the scene. And whilst we have already prepared voters' card and things like that, they already resolved themselves, and they had one candidate for one office. We insisted to carry out council conclusions